Today I went to my local food bank to do some volunteering and to learn a little bit more about volunteering. Marcus Rashford, the Man United and England footballer, spoken out at length about child poverty and it made me realise that I could do something small and local myself to draw attention to the issue and see what it meant to me and how it affected me.
It's been acknowledged by government and other public bodies that the pandemic has hit vulnerable groups and those living in deprived areas the hardest.
Just going to the One Can Trust in High Wycombe, which is near where I live. The One Can Trust is a food bank that provide food, obviously, for individuals, families, groups that cannot afford them. And this is obviously an increasing problem. I became sort of, I don't know, I guess inspired by Marcus Rashford. I thought, this man's done this incredible thing of bringing it to the public consciousness, like food poverty, poverty in general, in a sort of a meaningful way. And I thought, well, all of us can do our own small thing. I'm increasingly think start local, do things where you can. Anyway, so we're going to the One Can Trust in High Wycombe, where I'll be meeting with Cara and Kate and Joe, a whole bunch of people that work there and some volunteers. And I'm going to be delivering some food parcels, just really to feel what it's like and to show how easy it is. That if I can do it, look at me, then you can as well. Hello. All right, Cara, will you just introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, my name's Cara and I'm the Operations Manager at One Can Trust.
Hi guys, my name's Ant, I'm the Warehouse Manager here at One Can Trust.
So what, you'll show us around the warehouse, you'll show us the bags being packed, we'll go on a little trip in the car, deliver to a few families. This is what you told us to get. This is our local village shop. Laura put up, my wife put up one of your signs. And people left it.
Brilliant.
My children wanted to steal the biscuits.
Everyone packing a bag is a volunteer, and then Keenan and Jane are on the office and they're paid staff.
So you're like a charity, so you've got some staff members but you also got loads of volunteers.
Yeah, so we've got 6 staff members and everyone else that comes and donates their time is a volunteer.
What's your name?
Vicky.
Alright Vicky, are you volunteering here?
I am.
How come?
I just started here in the pandemic really.
What was the decision, what was the moment when you thought you would do it?
There was just a lot more need, a lot of the volunteers that were here before were vulnerable.
How's it made you feel doing it?
I enjoy being here. It's sad sometimes when you see obviously the amount of packages that need to go out, and I've heard a lot of people saying they don't want to approach a food bank because maybe they're a bit ashamed or embarrassed or whatever. But if you look at it the way that really this is just community, supporting community.
Like when it comes down to food poverty, that's a type of poverty that we thought we didn't have in Britain. Like that's sort of Victorian workhouses, people starving. And I think you told me before, Cara, that a lot of people are working, it's not not that there's anything wrong with being on benefits either. That's a sort of part of life, and I've been on benefits myself, but
it's struggling to make ends meet. Even though they have a job or they are on universal credit or whatever benefits they are on, it's still not enough to support themselves and their families, so that's why they have to come to a food bank. And that's why we're here.
Thank you. I think we're getting in the way. We're actually making things worse for people.
But yeah, this is the warehouse. So obviously, as you can see, we've got quite a number of volunteers in, all volunteering, giving up their time. You know, we rely on volunteers and people's generosity. So yeah, we are hugely grateful.
My sense is that it's good for people to do volunteering, and obviously vital for you also.
I mean, personally myself, I started here as a volunteer back in March. I was furloughed from my job and I wanted to get out and do something to help the community and keep myself busy. And to be honest, it was hugely beneficial. Like, my wife has been working from home on her own and she's struggled a bit with that. Whereas I've been here most days, meeting people, socialising, keeping myself busy, and I don't know where I'd have been without it.
You're volunteering here, aren't you, mate? Yeah. What does it do for you?
It's good to get you involved with something local.
Why?
Well, because you're giving time, not money.
So does it feel different to you?
Yeah, it does, yeah. If you've got enough yourself, it's good to help people who haven't got enough.
Simon's actually one of our longest standing volunteers. He's been here for how many years?
8 years.
8 years.
I used to run the warehouse.
Oh, really?
But yeah, I mean, in those days it was nowhere near as big as it is now. So.
Oh, really? You've seen the need increase, have you?
Oh yeah, it's probably gone up. 8 years, it's probably gone up 4 or 5-fold. Before coronavirus.
Wow, so poverty's just increasing.
Oh yeah.
Alison, do you want to tell Russell what you've been doing today?
So yeah, just basically making up different size fruit and veg bags, so for single people, small families and big families.
How many hours do you come a week then?
Tuesdays and Thursdays every other week. We're divided into 2 halves.
Oh yeah, for the COVID, so
yeah.
not everyone can get ill. That was an
Yeah.
ingenious move. In a way, what I feel like it might be quite important is the amount of collective love that goes into this process. So like from the process of it being delivered to it being prepared, even to the system of donation you mentioned there, it's a lot of people sort of love, and I suppose community is based on sort of loving connections between people rather than economically based relationships. I'm going to do some driving today.
Yeah.
What do you have to do? I mean, just drive there and deliver it and don't do anything weird.
Oh yeah, basically, yeah. You know,
Fine.
We always like to obviously have a chat with our sort of customers and make sure they're all right. A lot of people have obviously been self-isolating and lonely.
By the time I leave that doorstep, they'll be praying for loneliness.
Oh, probably, yeah.
This is where all the bags get packed. This is called the picking room. So packers will come along, and depending on what family size they are packing for, whether it's a single adult, a single parent, couple, family of with 2 kids, family with 3+ kids, they'll basically follow the guide all the way around. The ladies will come around, or the volunteers will come around and pack the bags in accordance to the list that basically gets generated the day before in terms of the referrals that have come in the day before. So today I think there's 50 bags that are going out, so we would have had 50 referrals come in to go out today.
So the bags I'll be delivering,
Yep,
are they ready?
they're ready.
So we're along with Bear, who I sort of bought because the way Bear looks at me when I leave the house. Bear's here. We're going to make these free deliveries now. They may not be on camera depending on how the people feel about having them, because as you know, there's sort of a stigma attached to using food banks, and that's sort of one of the things that we're focusing on. I suppose we're thinking about volunteers and the positivity of volunteering, the economic implications or the social implications of people needing food banks on such a large scale, and the stigma of poverty. I was on free school dinners. Poverty comes to all of us sooner or later, or at some point. There is a great deal of shame associated with poverty.
Go on, little girl. There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah. We're struggling, really.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's hard all the time, mate. I mean, we've got 5 of us in a 2-bedroom flat. It is really hard, mate.
Difficult.
It really is. It's
No,
a struggle all the time, you know. I mean, there's not enough help out there. What are you meant to do?
I don't know really.
Yeah,
you need support, don't you? Need
course,
community.
Of course, yeah.
And it's great that the One Can, they are so helpful. They help because they help with like obviously bits of food.
Yeah, when you can't afford it.
When you can't afford it.
It's a blessing,
also,
really.
there's presents and things, and you can go for advice. They know all the right people to go to.
What I realised from being at the One Can Trust headquarters is that doing volunteering or working for an organisation that has such a sort of a positive impact is really beneficial to the people that work there. I'm sure, as one of the volunteers, Vicky, said, there is a level of stress that comes with it, but at least you have the fulfilment of knowing that what you're doing on a daily basis is connected to something meaningful. I could see the positive impact it's like having made the deliveries. I could see the positive impact it's having on like people's lives and how necessary it is. I felt like really heartened by Amanda and Nick, their sort of acceptance and spirited approach. Like, in a sense, endemic poverty by its nature is a social failing rather than an individual failing. Our social philosophical models always place the onus on the individual, like the individual has failed in some way, whether it's mental health, addiction, or economic deprivation. The blame falls on the individual. But when it's happening at this scale, you can no longer pretend it's not a social problem. You can no longer pretend it's not created systemically. All of this support is being provided by volunteers and charities. That, in a sense, that becomes that's the real nation, that's the real community. Those are the real values. I've also learned that when you're making food deliveries, always bring a big German Shepherd with you. It does nothing but ease the process and make it simpler and easier and less fearful for everyone. Nothing like marching into a 2-bedroom flat with a giant German Shepherd to show that you are in touch with reality. By participating in something as simple as a food bank, you will receive a kind of window to a different world. And if you're a person that needs the services of a food bank, one of the things that the One Can Trust wanted me to emphasise is that there ain't no shame or embarrassment in using it. It's a necessary thing for a lot of people. If you need to use a food bank, there is a link in the description below to food banks that you can investigate and how to get a referral if you require one. I recommend for you, if you're a person that feels like you are lacking in purpose or meaning or motivation, that volunteering in something you care about might not be a food bank, might be something to do with animals, it could be a variety of things, but engaging that part of yourself is empowering. Also, for me, it's a window to a very simple thing: community, connection, a set of values where economics, commodification and commercialism aren't inserted into every single relationship that we have. Explore who you are as a human being. It could be something as simple as volunteering. It could be something as simple as opening up to the possibility that the world can be different. If you can make a donation to the One Can Trust or any food bank, then please do. But I reckon what will be more valuable to them and to you is volunteering, if you have the time, if you have the motivation. And if you are feeling lost in this world, then I feel that volunteering and giving of yourself might be energising and it might be enriching. Certainly, that's my experience that I've had with this, albeit brief, dalliance with the One Can Trust, which is something that I hope that I will continue.